What's up everybody? My name is SC and today I am starting a challenge called the Summer of Creation. Now you're probably asking, SC, what the fuck are you talking about? I'll tell you. I had this idea yesterday that for the entire summer, I did not want to spend it scrolling on my phone. I'm very bad about having free time and just being like, let's go on TikTok, let's scroll on Tumblr, wasting so much time on social media, not getting anything beneficial out of it. And I have this project that I want to do, that I want to work on, and I can't do that project if I am endlessly scrolling. So I created the Summer of Creation, where the number one rule is to create more than you consume. What I am going to be doing, and you can also be doing, because I invite you to join me in this challenge, is for every hour I am consuming, whether that's YouTube videos, TikTok, Instagram, scrolling on Pinterest, when I am mindlessly consuming content, for every hour I do that, I am doing an equal amount of time creating. If you're watching this and you've come from one of my YouTube videos, hello, first of all. Second of all, we're going to get into what week 1 looks like. And week 1 is setup week. So basically, this challenge I want to do from June 1st to August 9th. Those dates are kind of meh. I pulled them out of a hat because I wanted to. You are allowed and welcome to start this challenge at any point. But before you can start creating more than you consume, we need to do setup. I want to warn you of this thing called choice paralysis. What is choice paralysis, you may be asking? Well, choice paralysis is when you have an abundance of choices and that makes you freeze. That makes your brain go, I don't know what to choose, so I'm not going to choose any of them and I'm going to keep scrolling. We want to avoid choice paralysis. So if you're doing a big project or you want to do multiple big projects, I would cut it down to maybe 2 or 3, 4 at the maximum, right? Because doing a lot of big projects, especially when you have other responsibilities, is just setting yourself up to not do anything on them. So focus on 2 projects, 3 projects that you can actually get done. When you fail to plan, you plan to fail. It's very easy to be like, I'm gonna create more than I consume, but what does that actually mean? What does it mean to create more than you consume? How are you going to track that? And so that's what we're talking about today. This whole challenge is very much what works for you and learning what works for you, because you may not know. For me, I think there are 2 different types of projects that you can do. One is just general task and skill gain. So what do I mean by that? If you're an artist, it could be every week I'm going to learn a new fundamental of art. That is a small project. It goes bi-weekly and it's kind of like, okay, this is what I'm doing, and this is what I'm doing, and this is what I'm doing. And it's not like this overarching project that needs to be broken down. And that doesn't mean you don't need to go into more detail. Me personally, I would like to know what art fundamental I'm going to study that week before I do it. For you, you might be like, I'm gonna pull out of a hat. I'm gonna put all of the fundamentals and I'm gonna pull them out of a hat. But if you wanted to go further and be like, this week I'm going to study anatomy, this week I'm going to study shading, this week I'm going to be studying color, you could do that and you should do that if that works for you. If it doesn't, it doesn't. If you want to do a bigger project, then that is something that's going to need to take more planning. Now, before you start your project, I would highly recommend watching Anna Howard's video, The Design Process That Changed My Art. I really like that video. I think it's a good starting place for a lot of creators. And so go watch that. I'm gonna link it in the description below. And then come back to this video. Once you kind of know what you want to do, you can kind of break it up into smaller tasks. When you have big projects, you can't just put on your calendar, deadline August 9th, have 5 scripts done. That's not how that works. Break it down into smaller deadlines. Using me as an example, I have an audio drama that I want to create in the fall. But I realized last spring that it takes me way too long to write those scripts. So my goal is to create 5 episodic scripts this summer. Okay, that's not hard to do. So now the question is, how do we do it? How do we break it up? So for me, 5 scripts, 10 weeks, that means I need a script every 2 weeks. And at the end of the 2 weeks, I will be sending it to my professor to get some critique. While doing these scripts, I also want to work on the advertising and the marketing for my podcast, because I feel like I don't do enough marketing when I create stuff, and that makes me kind of sad. So that means I have 2 big projects. It would be unrealistic for me to be like, I'm gonna create my entire audio drama in 10 weeks. Terrible idea. Terrible idea, because that is not enough time to write the scripts, to get critiques, to record the audio, to edit the audio. That's a lot. But let's say I wanted to make 1 audio drama episode during the summer. I think that's more doable. Just focus on kind of bringing your ideas back down to earth, because realistically, you're not going to be able to do every single thing you want to do during this summer. Unless everything you want to do is like a smaller task. But you're not going to be able to start that small business and start that podcast and the blog and the... Narrow it down. What is the most important? What is the most, exciting project that you have that you want to work on? And do that. And if you can add on a smaller project later, add it on later. But focus on using your creation time to create something you're proud of, instead of creating just another work in progress. Hold yourself accountable, or find someone else to hold yourself accountable. What I want from this community is for us to hold each other accountable. That's why every week I'm going to be posting my logs. Maybe every day you can post your wins, your logs, whatever. And us as a community can hold each other accountable. But yeah, I think that's all for this video. If you like this video, hit the like and the subscribe button. It shows me that you like my content. And I'm going to be posting my weekly Summer of Creation log. So if you want to see that, that's cool. But yeah, this is all for this video. Let me know in the comments, what are you excited to work on this summer? And let me know if you have any questions. I know I'm not the best at explaining things. I'd probably be better if I scripted out what I said, but that's all for this video. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye!